Hey AMC film fans, thanks so much for joining us for this special Avengers doubleheader.
We just want to remind you that the next film up after Avengers Age of Ultron in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Ant-Man, opening in AMC theaters everywhere on July 17th.
We recently had the opportunity to sit down with the stars of the movie, Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas. Check it out.
Paul, let's start with you. Our audiences know you so well and love you so much already for a lot of your comedic work and everything else.
I didn't realize there was a follow-up to that.
Talk a little bit about what appeals to you about moving yourself and transitioning into like that of an action hero. What's that like for you?
It's been a ride for sure. It's been a lot of fun. I get to work with him, which is pretty amazing, and it's a blast.
Michael, you know, it's funny because not so long ago, the whole idea of the genre of comic book movies was kind of seen at the bottom of the barrel a lot. More fans started coming out. Suddenly we started seeing bigger actors. And now we're in an age right now where we have these iconic titans in Hollywood taking roles, whether it's Anthony Hopkins, Ben Kingsley, Robert Redford, and now Michael Douglas. What is the appeal for an actor of your stature to come in and get involved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, people ask you at this point in your career, what haven't you done? And I've never done one of these. You know, I never saw a green screen in my life. So this is like being on another planet. It's really cool. So I'm just sort of like watching this with my mouth open, following Paul's lead. He's good at improv too.
It's a shaky lead. Like I said, I don't envy you.
But it's a hoot, you know. It's a gas. It's certainly larger than life. Just seeing how these things come about and how you can fabricate and what starts out as nothing. And oh, sorry, there's a little ant on your shoulders that want to pull up.
One of my co-stars.
One of your co-stars.
Yeah,
Right up there.
that's the thing. It's becoming like an ant whisperer. Ever since we started shooting it, I'm just covered with ants all the time.
Now, one of the great things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that while there has been a real consistent identification throughout all of them, each film seems to have its own very unique personality. That each film brings something new to the table that we hadn't seen before. What is unique about Ant-Man that maybe our audiences haven't seen yet?
If you look at something like what people are about to watch right now, it's larger than life. I mean, it's huge. And you look at something like Guardians of the Galaxy, which has galaxies, and all of this stuff is so enormous. The stuff in Ant-Man looks enormous, but it's actually really small. It's like the entire world might take place on the end of this chair or your carpet or your floor. And so it makes everything, it's the opposite of all of that.
The macro photography, you know, you have different units shooting like all of these. You know, you have real people, you got digital people, and macro photography. And the trailer, for instance, without giving away a lot of Ant-Man, but you see the trailer, and this is a tremendous fight on this train, and it's like life and death, and all of a sudden you cut to the end, and it's a toy train, and you realize on that perspective.
It was fun to talk to guys doing the visual effects for it, and some of them, the macro photography unit, because they're doing things in this movie that have never been done before, and to see their enthusiasm was contagious. It was really cool to be like, oh wow, we're going to be a part of something that has some really unique and interesting visual effects that nobody's ever seen.
Michael, audiences were so excited when we found out you were going to be playing Hank Pym in this film. Tell us a little bit about Hank in the movie and where we find him when Ant-Man begins.
Well, I had to do some fast research with the help of Marvel, and was given Bibles of Marvel comics that involved Hank Pym and his existence back in the relatively early 60s, I think 1963, 1964, and how he was an integral part with the Avengers at that time. And I was fascinated by a character that was half sort of special services, military, great op-eds training, and the other half was a brilliant scientist. And Hank Pym, you know, you can only get small so many times, as many of you people out there know. And I want you to be careful about that. So Hank has gotten small too many times, you know. So now we're passing it on to, I found the perfect prodigy.
I still have a lot of opportunities to get small before I OS.
Well, it's a great transition. Tell us a little bit about Scott, and, you know, a little bit about him as a character and where he is when this film begins.
Well, you know, it's a guy who's made some pretty questionable choices. He's just getting out of jail because he committed a crime.
My kind of guy.
Yeah, he likes that. So, in the bigger picture, I have to make some choices, and I have to, that might seem like the wrong ones, or am I going to make the ones that are the right ones for the bigger?
He's doing such a good job of trying to tell you the story without giving away a piece of information.
I feel like a politician,
because we all are
honestly.
terrified
There are snipers
that we're going
around
to
the
get a
building as
Marvel
we're sitting.
blowgun right in
It's-
the back of the neck.
Just collapse.
Too much information.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, let me end with this. Let me ask you guys to put on your salesman hats for a second and tell us why.
Salesman?
Yeah.
Why
What's it
are-
going to take to get you into a Lexus?
Why are AMC audiences who are getting ready to watch Age of Ultron right now, why are they going to love Ant-Man?
A little comic relief doesn't hurt. Although I'm not saying it's serious, it's but it does have a little touch of that. I like that. First time I saw Guardians of the Galaxy with my kids. This is all new to me. I got a 14-year-old son, so I'm just catching up on all of this stuff. And this has a kind of a unique tone to it that I'd say would kind of separate it from some of the other Marvel pictures.
Yeah.
I bring the gravitas. He brings the jokes.
Quality, yes, talent, and legitimacy, and this might be
Goofball?
no. There is a lot in this movie. I kind of think that people will be surprised because it's not easy to peg. It's not a straight up comedy. It's not. There's action. There's great acting on this side, and there's poignancy and hopefully
Look,
some.
guys, pouring through here, man.
Oh, there they go.
Keep
There
the
they
feet up
go.
high. I keep the feet up. It's just coming through.
By the way, I'm not kidding. Since we started working on this movie, I would never kill an ant. I feel like it's bad karma.
Hey guys, don't forget Ant-Man hits AMC theaters everywhere on July 17th.
And if you are a Marvel fan or a comic book fan in general, make sure to watch our show, AMC Heroes, dedicated entirely to comic book movies.
Now, if you're a fan of Star Wars, then be sure to check out our show, AMC Jedi Council.
For all your movie news, make sure you check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk.
You can find all of these shows and more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/AMC Theaters.
Thank you so much for joining us here at AMC Theaters. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Avengers: Age of Ultron.